Hey, what's up guys? So I want to show off the next build I've made, which is a stat stacking bow inquisitor. And this one I really enjoyed playing and just making. I think it's a really nice build. It's decently tanky, pretty good damage. It's really elegant the way it's built. Everything just makes so much sense. So yeah, I really like it. And the idea of the build is I wanted to do another Widow Hail plus Poise Prism build. So Widow Hail multiplies the stats on a quiver, and Poise Prism is like the perfect option because it gives like a massive amount of resistances firstly, as you can see, and it also gives an insane amount of flat damage off your stats. So all of my flat damage is off the quiver. And you can also get like a corrupt for an extra arrow, and that also gets multiplied, so that means we have a lot of arrows, like 6, which is just really strong for a lot of bow skills. And since we're scaling like a lot of stats anyways, right, might as well use all of the other cool attribute scaling stuff. For example, Inquisitor is really strong because it gives like over 1000% crit chance for me, thanks to my stats. So even with a crappy bow like this, I am almost crit capped in the hideout. And the other notes are also pretty good, like ignore resistances, consecrate the crown, damage, regen. So yeah, just a really strong ascendancy. And we can also scale the damage of the build off stats with stuff like Fractal Thought, which gives life, increased daily damage, and extra dexterity. And something like Cyclopean Coil, which gives over 200% increased damage because our stats are so high. And you can get the same mod on a passive tree as well, like right here, for another 200% something increased damage. And you can get a crappy one right here as well for a little bit extra damage. And we can also use something like Iron Will, which doesn't do anything initially, but if you use Battle Mage's Cry on a boss or something, it makes it so the strength damage bonus also applies to our bow attacks, which is just a really nice cooldown to use on the bosses. And we can also scale our defenses of the stats. Obviously, just having a lot of life and energy shield is nice, but you can also get Mage Bane, which just caps out our suppress chance. And the downside doesn't really exist because we can just grab this mastery right here. So our evasion is scaled off intelligence anyways. But there's some things that the stats don't really scale. Firstly it's attack speed, so we try to get as much attack speed as possible. And we're also using like haste to get a little bit more. And the second one is projectiles, so we try to get as much projectiles as possible. And also crit damage is pretty hard to come by. So we are using crit damage multiplier support gem. But other than that, stats do a lot of heavy lifting for the build. So that's why we're scaling as much as possible. So gearing is really catered towards that. So we have Astromentus with Anointed Utmost Might right here. And our rings just have a lot of stats and maybe a little bit of resistances. Our gloves have a lot of stats. Our unique chest has a lot of stats. And same thing for the boots. And for the passive tree, it's also really stat dependent pathing. So we have 3 charms for strength and intelligence. You can also get the same mod on a jewel, which was taken. And we can grab like stats from our jewel sockets, which just rare jewels. And grabbing like dexterity cluster. And use something like a brutal restraint right here. So this can roll extra dex on notables. So 5%, 5% plus 20. And another 5%. So yeah, this like for 2 points is not a lot of dexterity. And going all the way up, grabbing some instant leech, ghost dance, the intelligence cluster. And since we're batting a long way from Inquisitor, we can also put a cluster jewel right here and put in our split personalities for a lot more extra stats. And that's pretty much it for the build. It's yeah, pretty simple honestly, but it works really well. And for the skills, you can use pretty much anything you want. Like every bow skill works pretty good. But I like Scourger of the Menace. I think it's really satisfying. And it also has auto pierce, so clearing feels really nice. And I'm also running a Mana Forge setup for Storm Rain of the Conduit, so this is really nice ramp up on bosses and stuff. Does a lot of damage. And yeah, that's it for the build. Let's do like a live map. I did the wisp thing already. So as you can see, the coverage is just so nice on the Scourge Arrow. It means you only really need to attack once or twice per pack. I also have all of my flasks have mods, so they're fully automated, so it's a really chill playstyle. And for bosses, yeah, I want to battle Mage Scry, put in my Sniper's Mark, and start spamming.
Welcome. Time has no meaning. Your pain will be ended. Distasteful!
Yeah, you can see single target is pretty great. And yeah, that's it for the build. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you soon. Bye.